Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this particular problem we are going to learn about the section of square pyramid, okay, of side 100 mm and 200 mm height is there, okay, of the axis, the edges or the side of the pyramid is equally inclined to BP. So this is basically related to the, it is rested on the corner of on HP, okay. So you have to draw the square basically rested on corner. It is cut by a section plane perpendicular to VP and inclined 45 degrees to HP and bisecting the axis. Okay. So how we are going to do that? We are going to first draw the XY reference line. Okay. Click on snap. So from this I'm going to draw one XY reference line. Okay. Z enter. Okay. I'm going to give the naming the text, okay, selecting any point on the screen, point 2, rotation angle is 0, okay. So this is my X and Y reference line. This is my VP. In VP I always draw front view. This is my HP. In HP I always draw top view, okay. And here you can write down your name. So I'm writing my name. Press escape. Okay, so first of all I'm going to draw one square basically, or you can draw the polygon by this command as well. Okay, so this is basically selecting polygon, number of sides is 4, selecting enter, edge, okay, and you can select any point here and you can rotate it. Okay, so basically you can rotate like this. So one AutoCAD unit dimensions will be one AutoCAD unit. Okay, press enter. So this is basically a square pyramid. Okay, so you can check the length as well, dimensions. Okay, dimensions here as align. Okay, and you can select this particular dimensions and click on snap. So this particular line and this particular point. So this is basically one AutoCAD unit. Okay, and in the basically I'm going to draw the center of these. Okay, so from this particular point I'm going to select this line, press escape. So from this particular point and this particular point. So in the top view I can see the base of the square pyramid as well as I can see the slant edges. Okay, so I'm going to convert this particular line into thick color. Okay, because it is visible, right? Now I'm going to convert this particular dimension into cyan color. Okay, and I can give the naming the text, selecting any point on the screen. Point 2 will be the height text and rotation angle is 0. So this is my point A, this is my point B, this is my point B, this particular point is C, and this is particular point D, and this is basically O/P. So apex or vertex will be there. Okay, so or I can basically write down here O/P. Okay, or I can, what I can do is press escape. Okay, I'm going to write down by small letters. So the text, selecting any point on the screen, point to 1, rotation angle is 0. Okay, so O/P. O/P. So P, O is the vertex and P is the base. Okay, right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the perpendicular projectors from this particular point. So I'm going to select the ortho. So from this particular point I'm going to draw one projector, press escape. Similarly from this particular point I'm going to draw another projector, press escape. So from this particular point I'm going to draw another projector, press escape. Okay, and now the height of the axis is given how much? Z, enter, enter, 200 mm. So from this particular point, okay, I'm going to draw 200 mm. So one snap. Okay, so I can get easily. So this is basically 200 mm. Okay, and now this is the pyramid. So I can join this particular place and click on ortho. So from this particular point I can join it. Okay, and from this particular point I can join it. Okay, so this is the axis. Okay, so click on snap. Okay, I'm going to convert it into hidden line. Okay, and the base, sorry, this particular line, so this particular line. Okay, so base will be visible, okay, in the front view. So I'm going to later I will do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I can give the naming. Okay, the text, selecting any point on the screen. Okay, point 2, rotation angle is 0. So this is particularly my point A dash. This particular point is my B dash D dash. Okay, B dash D dash, sorry, D dash, and you can place enter as B dash, and this particular point is my C dash. Okay, and the pyramid, so this is my particularly O dash. Okay, press escape. So I can give the dimensions here, align. So these dimensions and this dimension is basically 2 AutoCAD unit, that is press escape. So you can convert it into cyan color, and projector lines also you can convert it into cyan color. Press escape. Okay, now it is said that it is cut by a section plane, so it is equally inclined to VP. All the edges are equally inclined to VP. Now it is cut by a section plane perpendicular to VP and inclined 45 degrees to HP. Okay, so for that basically what I need to do is I'm going to select one midpoint. Okay, so from this particular point, so I'm going to select the midpoint here. So let us say this is the midpoint of this particular axis. Okay, and here from this midpoint I can click on snap. From this midpoint I'm going to draw a horizontal section plane. Okay, and I'm going to rotate this by base point or by this particular center. Okay, and click on snap. So by particular this center I'm going to rotate it by minus 45 degree. Okay, now you can check. So I got the sectional plane here. Okay, so this is basically the sectional plane which basically cuts the axis and incline 45 degrees to HP. So you can check the dimensions here as well. Okay, so from this particular point and this particular line you can check, this is basically 45 degree. Okay, so you can convert it into cyan color. So every time you need to check the dimensions. Okay, so now the cutted portion or the important portion is this one. So from this particular point, okay, this particular point, this particular point, and this particular point. Okay, and this is the important portion. So what I am going to do is I am going to convert it into thick line. So this is important portion, and the points which is basically cut is here. Okay, so there is one point, so I can write down the text, selecting any point on the screen, point to 1, rotation angle is 0. So this is basically my one point of intersection. So here I can write down 1 dash. Here is basically two edges, slant edges are there, so I can write down here 2 dash 3 dash. Okay, and this here it is basically cut on one edges, so it is basically 4 dash. Okay, press escape. So now from this particular line, okay, so I'm going to draw the projector lines. Okay, on the particular edges. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to select a line here. Okay, so from this particular point, okay, selecting on ortho as well. So from this particular point, so one will be on OA line, so it will be cutting here. Okay, so OA is where this is, so this is going to cut here. Okay, then there is point 2 is basically on OB. Okay, so OB is not visible, so let it be, and then 3 point is on OD, so OD is also not visible, we will draw it later. And there is point 4, so from this particular point 4 I'm going to draw, and this is basically OC, so OC is basically here. Okay, you can check, right? So immediately here press escape. Okay, so I'm going to mark the points here. 1 point, this is 2 point. Okay, I'm going to convert this particular projection line into cyan color. Okay, now what I need to do is basically I need to mark this particular 2 dash 3 dash, and this is basically lies on OB and OD. Okay, so here it is basically on OB and OD. So how I am going to do that? Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so let's wait, we can do that. Okay, so now we are going to mark this 2 dash and 3 dash, okay, on this particular O B and O and D. Okay, so now what we need to do is from this particular point you need to draw one line, okay, or we can say the horizontal lines from here to this particular axis. Press escape. Okay, so you can convert it into cyan color, and from this particular point, right, you need to draw one perpendicular to OA. So this is my one of the perpendicular distance. Okay, so I got here one point. Okay, now I need to draw one circle, okay, which this will be the center, and this will pass through from this particular point. Okay, so this will be the R. So I got 2 points here. This is one point and this is another point. Press escape, delete this circle. Okay, and now you can convert this particular line into a cyan color. Okay, so in the similar fashion, so you need to cut the section plane. Okay, now you need to join this by line. So this is one of the points, so you can join this and click on ortho. This is line, this is another line, and this is another point. Okay, so you can convert, because this is the sectional top view, you can convert it into thick color, and you need to give the hatching command. Hatch enter, add objects. Okay, so I'm going to select this line, this line, this line, and this line. Press enter and going to select OK. Okay, so this is basically somewhat 90 degrees. So again I'm going to H. Okay, select H, selecting object here. Okay, so this is basically one line, this is second line, third line, fourth line. Press enter and the angle will be now 0 degree. Press OK. So now you can check, and similarly you can give the naming here. D text, select any point on the screen, point 1, rotation angle 0. So this is particularly my point 1. Okay, this particular point is my, which is basically 2, right, or 3, you can check 2. This particular point is my 3, oh sorry 4, right, and this particular point is my 3, and this is basically known as the press escape, the text, select any point on the screen, press point 2, rotation at 0, and this is nothing but the top view of the section, right. Press escape. Okay, so now you got the top view of the section like this. Okay, now you need to draw the true shape of the section. So how we are going to that, select this particular line, Control C, Control V. Okay, draw one parallel here, press escape. Okay, so this is x1 y1 reference line. Now you need to get enter. Okay, now from this particular point you need to draw the perpendicular projector. So from this particular point, select line, select this perpendicular. So now you can draw, extend the line. So this is perpendicular. Similarly from this 2 dash 3 dash, select the line, draw perpendicular, and draw another perpendicular projector. Press escape. Similarly from this particular point, draw perpendicular to this particular section. Okay, and then extend the line. Okay, so now that all these lines are perpendicular. Okay, convert it into a cyan color. Okay, now you need to mark the dimensions of this 1, 2, 3, and 4 from this particular point. Okay, so how we are going to do that? Okay, so first of all you need to select the dimensions from here. Select dimensions, click align. So from this XY reference line, the dimension of this particular tree is something 1.64. From then go and select the dimensions, align from this particular point to this particular point, the dimension is somewhat 2, right? Similarly, from this particular select dimensions align, okay, from this particular point to dimension of 2 is basically here 2.35 dimension, select align, and from this particular reference line is a projector line, okay, from this dimension. This is basically 2. AutoCAD as here. Okay, so now convert this particular dimensions into cyan colors. The same dimensions we need to mark there. Press escape. Okay, so from one projector lines, how much dimension is 2, right? So if it is not going to mark 2, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the circle and selecting this as a center and 2 as a radius. Okay, press escape. So I can extend this particular line here. Okay, Control Z. Okay, and I'm going to extend it. Okay, Control Z, selecting this line and going to extend it. Press escape. Okay, so this projector lines together I can stretch. Press escape. I need to extend this. Press escape. Okay, so now it is going to cut here. Okay, press escape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. Okay, and I'm going to move. Press escape. Okay, so now it is basically cut at this particular point. So this is my point 1. Select and delete it. Okay, so basically I can going to enhance the line. Okay, similarly I'm going to enhance the line. So space management you need to do that. Control Z. Okay, escape. Okay, so 1 dash point I have already done. Now I need to mark 2 dash 3 dash. So 2 dash distance is how much? 2.3536. Okay, so I'm going to select a circle from here, from this particular point, 2.3536. Press enter. Okay, escape. So I got another point here. I am marked it. Delete the circle. Okay, 3 dash point is how much? 1.6434. so I'm going to draw one circle here, selecting this as a center. 1.6464. Press enter. I got here another point. Press escape. Going to delete it, and now I need to mark the 4. So 4 is basically 2 AutoCAD units, right? So I'm going to select it from here. So 2. So I got another point here. Press escape. Going to select this circle. Okay, now I am going to join this particular point. Press escape. Control Z. Okay, and I'm going to convert this into thick line. Okay, and I'm going to basically convert into hatch. Okay, H, selecting the objects. Okay, and now this line, this line, this line. Press enter, and the angle will be 45 degree. This, okay, Control Z. So this is coming the straight. Okay, so again I'm going to repeat the command H, enter, selecting the objects. Okay, so this line, this line, this line, and this line. Okay, select the objects. Okay, the angle will be 45 degree. This, okay, 45 is coming like this. Okay, so again I'm going to write the hatch command. Okay, so this you need to repeat again and again. So hatching line should be 45 degree inclined. Okay, yes, 0 degree. Okay, press enter. So now you can check. So this is basically my true shape of the section. So I'm going to give a new text, selecting any point on the screen. Point 2, rotation angle is 0. Okay, so this particular point is my 1. This particular point is my 3, this is 2, and this particular point is my 4, right? So this is basically 3, okay? And this one is my x1 y1 reference plane, okay? And this is nothing but the true shape of the section, okay? Enter, press escape, okay, enter. Please make sure that you are given all the dimensions, okay? And this is nothing but the solution of this particular kind of problem statements. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.